Hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of Kids Zone, the Christian education moment designed for the entire family. This is King Holiday Weekend, and I am just thinking about all of the many ways that Dr. King has inspired us to become better people. And what I am so grateful for is that Dr. King did not live in silo. He lived in conjunction with his wife, Sister Coretta Scott King, who was also a champion for justice. And we don't celebrate or acknowledge her enough. We celebrate and think about Dr. King because of his I Have a Dream speech, because of his involvement in the movement. But I want to think about Sister Coretta Scott King today as well, who, after Dr. King passed away, I learned just recently that she was involved in the Poor People's Movement that happened just weeks after his death. She arrived in DC around Mother's Day when they were participating and doing this march. And she was there because she represented not just her husband, but also this idea of the movement, that it did not stop with just one person. And it is a reminder that although Dr. King stood up and was a leader and example for so many people, both Dr. King and Mrs. King, that it did not stop with them, that they inspired a generation of leaders who were their colleagues, and also those generation of leaders who were after them, and those who came after them. And here we are today. Those of us who can see the injustices that are happening in what we call our America, also the injustices that are happening across the world. And if you see something wrong, you cannot allow that wrongness to keep you blind. That when you see something, you ought to say something. So whatever the injustice is that you see in your world, whatever the problem that you see affecting others where their backs are against a wall, as Dr. Howard Thurman talks about, or the fact that you see people who are just in need, you and I both can help to change the world and be the change that we want to see in the world. God has given us each unique gifts, a special gift to go out and make things happen, to use our minds to help think through problems, to use our words and our ability to speak or to sign to help convict and to help change the hearts of other people. Maybe you're just a willing worker and able to stand on the front lines, and whether that means to hold a sign or to do the actual work that takes place each and every day, to be kind to someone else, to show love to someone else, to help provide an opportunity for someone else who might not typically have them. All of us can participate in this act of justice. And during this weekend, I pray that God will inspire and speak to you. Holy Spirit, speak to all of us so that we can figure out in 2024 how we might be of greater use, how we might be able to change the world, and to make sure that no one else suffers on our watch. We need more kings and queens who follow the example of Dr. King and Mrs. King, who will stand up and keep working until God calls us and calls us home. Mrs. King was so instrumental in helping to develop the King Center, as well as to make Dr. King's holiday a holiday where we can celebrate today. It's not just a time off or just to take a vacation or it's to party or to celebrate, but it's a time for us to reflect and think about ourselves as humans and how we show kindness to other people, how we utilize our communities, whether it be churches or our groups or friends or our organizations that we're a part of, to do the work of justice, to change the world. So, wherever you are, don't get comfortable being on your couch. Let's get uncomfortable, because somebody out there in the world needs you to stand up. That's all that I have for you this week. I pray that you have a wonderful week. Stand up for justice and be the change that the world needs today. See you soon.